Okay, so I'm now going to show you on how are we going to stomp or step over the enemy so that we could eliminate it. So as of now, the only way that we could eliminate our enemy is to fire, is to throw, or to throw the fireball. Okay, so here I have the fireball, so our enemy is eliminated. Now, what will happen if ever I'm going to stomp on my enemy? Okay, so jump, then stomp. Okay, so what will happen is that instead that our enemy is going to be eliminated, it's or we could kill our enemy. So it's the player that has been eliminated. Why? It is because of our players, as you can see here. Okay, so this is by the way the player. So if ever the other object on our on collision enter 2D is the enemy, then okay, the enemy is going to die, or I mean the player is going to die. Okay, so that's for our uh, in our validation here. Okay, so what are we going to do is that we are going to validate, okay, if the player stumps or steps over or jumps over or jumps on top of our enemy. And if ever it is on top, then the enemy is going to die or to going to be killed. Okay, so we are going to validate it here. So first, so I'm just going to now it should come before this validation here. Okay, so here we are going to validate first if the other object dot transform the tag is equal to enemy. Okay, so if ever it is the enemy, or meaning the other collider, okay, or the other object is the enemy, here it is going to die. Our player is going to die. Okay, as you can see, it is game over. But here it should be the enemy and okay, so there would be an other validation here and the other object. Oh no, it's not the player object, but the player, okay, must be going down. Okay, so take note here. So we have here the player that is going to jump, then our player, okay, then the player is going to jump, then it is going to it is going down, then it is going to step on our enemy. So therefore, at this point here, the collision entered 2D has been fired, and we have validated that the other object is our enemy. Okay, so the other validation here should be if the player is going down. Okay, so if we ever it is going down, so meaning it is going to stomp or step over our enemy. So therefore, here we're going to validate the velocity of our player. Okay, so that velocity dot y. So as you can see, we have dot y. So if ever less than zero, meaning the velocity of the in the y-axis of the player going down, meaning that's negative. Okay, so if ever jumping, our player jumps and it is moving towards the north or upwards, then it is positive. Going down, that's negative. Okay, so if the player is going down, so therefore it is negative. So we are going to uh, validate if negative, so meaning it is going down. So therefore, we must have to kill our enemy or eliminate the enemy. So how are we going to eliminate our enemy? So we're going to have the other. Okay, without any animation. So we are going to destroy the other objects, game objects. So take note here, it is the small letter game object. Okay, so again, if ever it is the enemy and our player is going down, so therefore we are going to kill our enemy. It is because we're just going to interpret that our player has stomped into our enemy. Okay, so let's try. Save. Okay, so walk and jump. Okay, so as you can see there, our enemy has been eliminated. Okay, so we are going to put some, um, let us say, some sort of some effects. Okay, other that transform, okay, just like what we had before. That we're going to change the local scale. Okay, we're just going to have the vector 2, then x still 1, then y negative 1. Okay, then also we are going to change, or we are going to make our enemy fall uh, from our platform. Okay, then we are going to wait for at least 2 seconds, okay, before we are going to uh, destroy our enemy. Okay. Now, there's another effect that we are going to add. So we're just going to have a bounce effect. Okay. So we're going to change our player RB, the velocity. Okay. Now our jump height is we have. Okay. It's too high. Let's say 7. Then we are going to have for the bounce effect is a 5. I'm just going to have here -2. Meaning, so once it is going to stomp onto our enemies, it is going to bounce. Okay. So as you can see, this bounce command here that we have is just actually our jump. Okay, so it is going to jump uh, less than the height of the usual jump. Okay. Okay. Save it there. Okay, I'm just going to have here a stump or step over the enemy. Okay, so this is now a very simple uh, effects. Okay, when we are going to kill or stomp into our enemy. Okay, so this is now the second way on how are we going to eliminate an enemy. So the first one is we have the fireball, in which this is very useful if ever we have a limited number of fireballs, in which if ever to save the number of fireballs, so we are going to let our player to stomp onto our enemy. Okay, just to eliminate so our enemy and to save then the number of fireballs. Okay. By the way, there's another one here. Okay, so we have here enemy 2 and enemy and our enemy. Okay, so in our enemy 2, we have, by the way, I think I have not disabled the control. Okay, so here. So if ever I have destroyed the enemy here, then I have disabled the box collider here, but I was not able to disable the enemy AI.cs. Or, wait, the dragon has an enemy AI, okay, that is going to move. I think it's going to move, so here, okay, move towards our uh, enemy if ever the attack range or the position of the player is less than or equal to our attack range. So what I did there is actually, um, even if I have disabled the box collider 2D, but our enemy is still moving towards our player. Why? It is because I have not disabled uh, the script that has been attached to our enemy. Okay, so as an additional here, I'm going to disable also. By the way, I'm going to show you. Supposedly, we are going to make our enemy face upside down once it is going to be killed. Okay, so but look at our enemy. It was it seems that this one here uh was not implemented because here we have also our the player is currently attacking our, oh no, the enemy is currently attacking our player, and the local scale here has been set even though we have disabled or we have set the y to negative, but since still attacking our players, still our y, by the way, we could use also here vector 2, so our y is still positive. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to disable um, the enemy AI component. Okay, so that the enemy then is going to stop attacking our player. Okay, so save. Okay, it's not attacking our player. Then step. Okay, so as you can see there, uh, it faces upwards. Then it actually stop attacking or moving towards our player. Okay, then another thing with that, as you could see here, so as I'm going to eliminate the other enemy, okay, I stomped on the other enemy, but as you can see here, I have an error. Okay, so on collision enter to the null reference exception. Okay, so object reference not set to an instance of an object. Why? This because here on line 96, I am going to disable the enemy AI component, whereas our enemy here, take note, both of them, by the way, this enemy and enemy 2 is we have both of them, their tags are enemy. So I could just actually change the tag of my enemy 2 or so that there will be no more error because the error here actually is, as you can see here, there is no enemy AI component into our enemy. Okay? So we could change, again, one way is to change the tag, but we could also validate here. Okay. So we're going to validate if it is not null, then we are going to just get a bit here so it's clearer. Okay, so if ever the enemy AI of this enemy is not null, so therefore it is the dragon. So if ever it is the dragon, then we are going to disable our enemy AI. Okay, so save. Okay, eliminate the first enemy. Okay, so no error. Okay. Oops. Okay. Anyway, as you can see, the first enemy has been eliminated. Our boss or all enemies that have been stomped upon by our player has been eliminated. Okay. So that's the other way on how are we going to eliminate our enemy.